The vast Zarkium warship materialized above Earth's atmosphere, its obsidian surface absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Commander Maya Rodriguez watched from the orbital defense station as 3 more ships emerged from Fold space, their massive forms dwarfing humanity's most advanced vessels. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Lieutenant Sarah Chen reported, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. They're scanning everything. Our cities, power grids, orbital installations. Maya gripped the command rail tighter, feeling the cool metal beneath her palms. Humanity had prepared for first contact for decades, but not like this. Not with ships that could swallow cities whole. The alien transmission came simultaneously to every communication device on Earth. Primitive species of Sol 3. You will submit to evaluation by the Zarkian Imperium. Resistance is inadvisable. Your technological level has been assessed as Category 7, pre-stellar civilization. In the Atacama Desert, Dr. James Chen wiped sweat from his brow as he continued his archaeological dig, seemingly oblivious to the global crisis unfolding above. His team had discovered something unusual 3 days ago. A metallic structure buried deep beneath the ancient salt flats. The timing couldn't have been worse, but he couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery was somehow connected to their visitors. Dr. Chen. His assistant Maria called out, her voice trembling with excitement. You need to see this. The excavation had revealed a doorway, its surface covered in patterns that seemed to shift and change when viewed directly. But what caught James's attention wasn't the door itself. It was the symbols etched along its frame. Symbols identical to those decorating the hulls of the alien ships above. In orbit, Commander Rodriguez was about to respond to the Zarkian ultimatum when her sensors lit up like a Christmas tree. Energy signatures were appearing across the planet. In the Atacama, beneath the Antarctic ice, in the depths of the Mariana Trench, deep within the Sahara Desert. The Zarkian ships suddenly backed away from Earth, their weapon systems powering down instead of up. A new transmission came through, this one marked by what their translators identified as fear. Impossible. The readings matched the ancestral defense grid. This world, it cannot be. Deep beneath the Atacama salt flats, Dr. Chen pressed his palm against the ancient doorway. The shifting patterns suddenly froze, then began to glow with a soft blue light. A voice spoke, not in any human language, but somehow perfectly understandable to everyone present. Genetic identification confirmed. Awakening protocol initiated. Welcome back, children of Earth. The door began to open, revealing a chamber that would change humanity's understanding of its own history forever. Inside, holographic displays flickered to life, showing images that made Dr. Chen's heart stop. Earth ships, far more advanced than anything currently in orbit, traveling between the stars. The date stamp on the recordings, 50,000 years ago. In orbit, Commander Rodriguez watched in awe as massive structures began rising from Earth's oceans, deserts, and ice caps. Structures that had lain dormant for millennia, waiting for the right moment to reawaken. The Zarkian ships retreated further, their transmissions now filled with references to the Ancient Ones and the Forgotten Empire. Humanity was about to learn that they weren't primitive at all. They were the descendants of one of the most powerful civilizations the galaxy had ever known. And now, faced with threat and challenge, that heritage was finally awakening. As ancient defense platforms took up orbital positions around Earth, their capabilities far exceeding anything humanity or the Zarkians possessed, Dr. Chen found himself staring at a simple message displayed in the underground chamber. To our descendants, we did not fall. We did not die. We chose to sleep, to give you the chance to grow, to evolve, to become your own people. But we left you a legacy, hidden until you would need it most. Today, you begin to reclaim your birthright. Today, you remember who you truly are. The greatest discovery in human history wasn't that they weren't alone in the universe. It was that they had once ruled it, and that power had been waiting patiently for them to need it again. The Antarctic Research Station shuddered as another ancient structure emerged from the ice. Dr. Elena Volkov pressed her hand against the reinforced window, watching in awe as a towering spire of dark metal rose into the perpetual night sky. Similar reports were coming in from across the globe. Humanity's forgotten legacy awakening from its long slumber. Inside the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen and his team had discovered something even more remarkable. The holographic archives showed not just humanity's past glory, but the reason for their voluntary regression. They had been guardians, not conquerors. A civilization so advanced they had chosen to step back and allow younger species to develop independently. "We were watchers," he explained to Commander Rodriguez via quantum link. "The archives say we established the preservation protocol, seeding worlds with life, guiding evolution, then stepping back to allow natural development." The Zarkian fleet had withdrawn to the edge of the solar system, but their long-range scans continued. Their transmissions, now intercepted and decoded by reactivated Earth systems, revealed growing panic among their leadership. "The Ancient Ones cannot have returned," one message read. "The Treaty of Seven Suns forbade their interference unless—" The transmission cut off abruptly. In orbit, Commander Rodriguez felt a chill as she read between the lines. Unless what? She wondered aloud. The answer came from an unexpected source. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, another facility had awakened, this one containing the complete diplomatic archives of humanity's stellar empire. Lieutenant Chen's eyes widened as she processed the incoming data. "The Treaty of Seven Suns," she reported, "was our final act before going dormant. We would sleep, allowing the galaxy to develop naturally, unless—" She paused, double-checking the translation. "Unless any species attempted to forcibly subjugate another." The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just been advanced. They had been the galaxy's peacekeepers, voluntarily stepping down from power, but leaving behind a failsafe should their protection ever be needed again. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen accessed deeper levels of the archives. The facility was more than just a repository of information. It was a seed vault of ancient human technology. Quantum computers that made their most advanced AI look primitive. Energy systems that could power continents. And something else, something that made his breath catch. "Commander," he called over the quantum link, "I found records of our fleet. The ships, they're still out there, sleeping in deep space, waiting for the recall signal." Before Rodriguez could respond, the facility's AI interrupted with an urgent alert. The Zarkians weren't the only ones who had noticed Earth's awakening. Other species were approaching, some with recognition, others with fear, and a few with what could only be described as relief. "Multiple quantum space ruptures detected," Lieutenant Chen reported. "Ships emerging. But they're not attacking. They're forming an honor guard." The new arrivals were broadcasting on frequencies provided by the ancient defense grid. Their message was simple: "The Guardians have returned. The ancient pact is remembered. We stand ready to assist." Dr. Chen found himself looking at a star map in the facility's central chamber. Across the galaxy, hidden catches of human technology were awakening. The sleeping giant wasn't just stirring, it was rising with purpose. But with this awakening came responsibility. The archives made it clear. Humanity's ancestors hadn't been conquerors but protectors. They had stepped back not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Now their descendants would have to decide. How would they wield this reborn power? As if sensing his thoughts, the facility's AI displayed a final message. "The choice is yours, children of Earth. You have grown in our absence, found your own path. The power we left behind is not a weapon, but a tool. Use it wisely. Use it justly. Use it as we did, not to rule, but to preserve." Above Earth, the first of the ancient defense platforms reached full power. Their capabilities made both human and Zarkian technology look like stone tools in comparison. But their purpose wasn't conquest, it was protection. The sleeping Guardians had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Zarkian High Command made their decision 3 days after Earth's awakening. Their flagship, the Eternal Dawn, dropped out of quantum space directly above the ancient facility in Antarctica. This time, they came not with demands but with an offering: the complete historical records of their species. Commander Rodriguez studied the data alongside Dr. Chen and Dr. Volkov. The truth was more complex than anyone had imagined. The Zarkians weren't naturally aggressive. They had been manipulated, pushed toward expansion by something far more ancient and sinister. The entity, the Zarkian records called it, a force that had been sealed away by the ancient humans, locked in a prison of bent space and frozen time. But the seals were weakening. Deep within the Antarctic facility, Dr. Volkov accessed deeper levels of the archives. The entity wasn't just sealed away, she discovered. It was studied. Our ancestors spent millennia trying to understand it, a force that fed on conflict, that grew stronger with every war it sparked. The facility's AI confirmed her findings, displaying simulations that made even the hardened military personnel step back. The entity had nearly consumed the galaxy once before. Only humanity's intervention had stopped it, but the cost had been staggering. That's why we went dormant, Dr. Chen realized. Not just to let younger species develop, but to deny the entity the conflicts it needed to feed on. We scattered our technology, hid our power, and waited. In orbit, Lieutenant Chen detected new quantum space ruptures. More ships were arriving. Representatives from 100 different species, each carrying their own pieces of humanity's forgotten history. Some had been enemies, others allies, but all remembered the truth about Earth's children. The Zarkian admiral, a crystalline being named Vexithor, shared their most closely guarded secret. We found signs of the entity's influence in our governance protocols 3 cycles ago. It was already too late. Our empire was spreading, conquering, feeding it without knowing. When your world awakened, we felt its grip weaken for the first time in generations. Commander Rodriguez received reports from the reactivated defense platforms. The ancient sensors were detecting something massive stirring in the space between galaxies, a darkness that had been waiting, watching, growing stronger as species after species fell into patterns of conquest and submission. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen accessed the final level of the archives. The holographic displays showed the full scope of humanity's ancient plan. They hadn't just been hiding. They had been preparing. Each facility on Earth contained a piece of something larger, a weapon designed not to destroy but to heal, to break the entity's hold on the minds of entire civilizations. The Harmony Protocol, the AI explained, a quantum-level intervention that would sever the entity's ability to influence organic minds. But it required something that didn't exist when it was designed: the willing cooperation of all major galactic species. Understanding dawned on Commander Rodriguez's face. That's why we waited. We needed the galaxy to experience the entity's influence, to recognize it as a threat, to choose to stand against it willingly. The ancient defense platforms began moving, forming a precise geometric pattern around Earth. Each arriving alien ship took its place in the formation, their combined energy signatures creating harmonics that hadn't been seen in the galaxy for 50 millennia. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Volkov found the activation key. Not a code or a command, but a choice. The ancient humans had left the final decision to their descendants. Would they take up the mantle of guardianship again? Would they lead not through force, but through wisdom and cooperation? The entity stirred, its vast consciousness detecting the threat to its power. Across the galaxy, wars suddenly escalated. Peaceful species found themselves gripped by inexplicable aggression, and ancient hatreds flared anew. But this time, humanity wasn't alone. This time, they had allies who remembered the truth, who understood what was at stake. The Harmony Protocol wasn't just a weapon. It was a testament to what species could achieve when they chose to work together. As the entity's influence grew stronger, Earth's forgotten legacy stood ready. The true test wasn't just awakening humanity's ancient power, It was using that power the way their ancestors had intended, not to dominate, but to liberate. The entity struck first at Mars. The red planet's newly awakened defense systems detected the attack seconds before it hit, a wave of pure entropy that turned the polar ice caps to vapor instantly. Earth's ancient platforms responded automatically, throwing up quantum shields that sparkled like auroras in the thin Martian atmosphere. Commander Rodriguez watched the tactical display as more attacks followed, precise strikes targeting Earth's reactivated facilities. But the entity had underestimated humanity's preparation. Each facility was protected by technology that bent probability itself, making them virtually impossible to target directly. Multiple quantum breaches detected, Lieutenant Chen reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. The entity is pulling controlled space into unspace. It's trying to isolate Earth from its allies. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen worked frantically to complete the Harmony Protocol's activation sequence. The entity's attacks weren't random. It was targeting specific frequencies in the quantum field, attempting to disrupt the delicate harmonics needed for the protocol to work. The Zarkian fleet moved to intercept the entropy waves, their ship's crystalline hulls redirecting the energy into harmless quantum foam. Admiral Vexthor's voice crackled over the command channel. "We cannot maintain this defense indefinitely. The entity grows stronger with each attack." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Volkov made a breakthrough. The archives revealed that the entity's power had a fundamental weakness. It could only influence, never directly control. Its strength came from manipulating species into fighting each other, feeding off the discord and destruction that followed. The Harmony Protocol isn't just about protecting minds from influence, she transmitted to the command center. It's about showing everyone the truth at once, letting them see how they've been manipulated. The entity seemed to sense their understanding. Its attacks intensified, and now they could see its true form, a vast distortion in space-time, a living void that consumed light and reason alike. Ancient sensors detected its consciousness spreading, reaching for the minds of every being in the solar system. But something unexpected happened. Instead of falling into chaos and conflict, the assembled species drew closer together. The Zarkians linked shields with Earth's platforms. A dozen other alien fleets joined the formation, each adding their unique technologies to the defense network. In orbit, Commander Rodriguez felt it, a sense of clarity and purpose that transcended species barriers. The entity's influence was strong, but the combined will of multiple civilizations working in harmony was stronger. Dr. Chen completed the activation sequence just as the entity launched its most devastating attack. Space itself began to tear apart as the void creature attempted to drag Earth into unspace. But the Harmony Protocol was ready. Every facility on Earth activated simultaneously. The defense platforms shifted position, forming a perfect geometric array that encompassed not just Earth, but the entire solar system. Each alien ship became a node in the network, their combined technologies creating something that hadn't existed since the dawn of the galaxy, a unified field of conscious intention. The entity recoiled as the Harmony Protocol engaged. Waves of coherent quantum energy pulsed outward, carrying not destruction but understanding. Every being touched by the field saw the truth, how their conflicts had been orchestrated, their fears manipulated, their aggression amplified by an ancient force that fed on their discord. The void creature's form began to destabilize as its influence weakened. Without conflict to feed on, without minds to manipulate, its power over normal space began to fade. The combined fleets maintained their formation, their unified purpose creating a harmony that the entity couldn't corrupt or destroy. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Volkov watched as the ancient sensors tracked the entity's retreat. It wasn't destroyed. Something that had existed since the dawn of time couldn't be eliminated so easily. But its power was broken, its ability to influence civilizations severely diminished. Humanity had done more than reclaim its ancient legacy. They had fulfilled their ancestors' true purpose, not to rule through force, but to unite through understanding. The Harmony Protocol hadn't just protected minds from influence, It had shown every species that cooperation was stronger than conflict. 1 month after the entity's retreat, Earth's orbital space had transformed. The ancient defense platforms now served as gathering points for diplomatic missions from across the galaxy. Species that had been bitter enemies for millennia worked together, sharing knowledge and resources as they helped each other recover from the entity's influence. Commander Rodriguez stood in the newly reactivated Luna Command Center, watching holographic displays track the progress of recovery efforts across known space. The Harmony Protocol had done more than break the entity's power. It had created lasting neural changes that made species naturally resistant to manipulation and discord. The archives call it quantum resonance stability, Dr. Chen explained, studying data from the Atacama facility. Our ancestors discovered that consciousness itself has a quantum component. The protocol didn't just protect minds, it helped them evolve. The Zarkian Empire had undergone the most dramatic transformation. Under Admiral Vexthor's leadership, they had converted their conquest fleets into exploration and diplomatic missions. Their advanced quantum technology, freed from the entity's corrupt influence, proved invaluable in stabilizing regions of space damaged by the Void creatures' attacks. In Antarctica, Dr. Volkov made another discovery that changed everything. The facility contained plans for a network of quantum gates, technology that would allow instant travel between any 2 points in the galaxy. But unlike the ancient humans' other gifts, these weren't already built and waiting. They left this for us to build together, she realized. Not just humanity, but all species working in cooperation. The plans require materials and techniques that can only be provided by different civilizations working in harmony. The entity's defeat had created something unprecedented, a genuine alliance of species united not by fear or force, but by shared purpose. The Quantum Gate Network would be its first great project, a physical manifestation of their new unity. Earth's ancient facilities began transitioning from military installations to centers of learning and cooperation. The defense platforms remained vigilant. The entity wasn't destroyed, only weakened, but their primary purpose shifted to protecting the nascent alliance's collaborative efforts. Commander Rodriguez received a final transmission from the Antarctic facility's AI. Protocol completion confirmed. Stage 2 initialized. The message contained coordinates for hundreds of additional facilities scattered throughout the galaxy, each containing different pieces of humanity's legacy. But these wouldn't awaken automatically. They would only reveal themselves when the species of the galaxy were ready to discover them together. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen found himself studying the original preservation protocol, the document that had led humanity's ancestors to step back from power. Its wisdom was clearer now than ever before. True advancement couldn't be imposed from above. It had to emerge naturally from cooperation and mutual understanding. The assembled alien representatives made a unanimous decision. Earth would serve as the headquarters for their new alliance, not because humanity demanded it, but because all species recognized the wisdom of the ancient humans' approach. Power wasn't about dominance, it was about creating conditions where everyone could grow stronger together. As construction began on the first quantum gate, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. They had reclaimed their legacy, but more importantly, they had honored it. The sleeping guardians had awakened not to rule, but to unite. The entity's defeat wasn't just a victory for humanity. It was a victory for all species who chose to stand together against the darkness. The ancient humans had left behind more than just technology. They had left a vision of what the galaxy could become when species chose cooperation over conflict, understanding over fear, and harmony over discord. Their descendants had not only reclaimed that vision, they had made it reality. As the first quantum gate neared completion, its crystalline structure a testament to multiple species technologies working in perfect harmony, humanity knew they had fulfilled their ancestors' greatest hope. They had become not just guardians of peace, but catalysts for a new age of galactic cooperation.